look, let's hop into this Japanese Grand Prix weekend. We got some liveries to be talking about. Red Bull, I mean, they absolutely cooked. It's an ode to the 2021 I think they used it during Hungary. I think they used it for a couple races. I think they also used it in Japan. But the white, red Japanese Grand Prix livery this year, I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I don't have any complaints for this. We did a whole livery ranking video earlier in our first episode really of the podcast this season. And honestly, this would probably be the number one, if not very narrow number two overall for the entire grid, in my opinion. If this is what if they walked out with for the beginning of the season for the entire 2025 championship season, really, this would probably be my favorite one on the grid. What do you think?
Favorite one on the grid. Yeah, I could see it. I wouldn't personally say it's my favorite on the grid. I think the reason why we like it is because of the historical aspect of the livery, of what it represents for Red Bull, what it represents for now the new seat owner of Yuki Tsunoda, and the relevance that it has for the Japanese Grand Prix. I do like the livery. Don't get it wrong. I think the colors work really well. Bringing a classic back to life. It's amazing. Number one on the grid is kind of tough to say though. Maybe I'm just a hater though.
I mean, the V-carb one is really good. I do
enjoy the V-carb one.
I like the chrome level aspect of the actual bulls on the car. Like the chrome feature of that red versus like a matte red looks really nice. It's a good touch.
I agree.
They didn't overcomplicate it. I like the Japanese flag ode right there where the numbers are right there towards the center of the nose with the number 22 on it. I mean, it looks really clean. Number 1 there. Overall, it looks clean. The nice little touches for the Honda logo. Yep, hopping your cursor right over that. The chrome aspect of the red to me just really helps bring this all together. It's not matte white. I think it's a little bit of a change from what they did in 2021, but for me, it's a 10 out of 10 livery. The final year for Red Bull's Honda partnership as well. It's an ode to that livery back in 2021, which in my personal opinion is iconic. People have been demanding this, rendition of that exact livery for years now. And Red Bull, in my opinion, they delivered. Other teams also this week. Oh, but by the way, and for it to be Yuki Tsunoda's first race with Red Bull to don this Japanese themed livery, it makes that entire moment that much more special.
I agree.
This is perfect for the moment. It's perfect for the weekend. It's perfect for the driver lineup. I mean, it knocks the ball right out of the park. Another team that dropped a very special livery for this Japanese Grand Prix weekend, the HAAS team. I also love this. They're black, white, and red as well. That's just their regular colors. But what they did with the cherry blossoms obviously helped inspire a little bit of the changes you can see behind us with the green screen going on. The pink, the cherry blossoms, I think they really work well with Haas's livery in a way that if you had pitched it to me on paper, I might not have seen the vision, right? Do you not like this?
I actually have a hot take. I like this better.
You like it more than the Red Bull?
It's my favorite livery going into the weekend.
I think I disagree, but it's not far down the list.
I think I'm in the minority in that decision. TLPs, let me know if I'm the only one. If I'm the only one that thinks that this HAAS livery is better than the Red Bull one. And we're talking about fine margins here. I think the cherry blossom looks amazing. I think it looks fantastic. My one thing is I wish the MoneyGram on the front wing wasn't red. I wish somehow, some way you could have gotten that into a pink or maybe a white with a red accent or something like that.
Yeah. We take graphic design really seriously here on the Lap podcast.
What really sells it for me is this side pod right here. That HAAS
in the pink gradient
and that hot pink gradient with the cherry blossom flowing alongside with that black accent. I mean,
it all works. Yeah, I think the only thing that does stand out on this really, I mean, you made a good point. The only thing that really stands out against all of this is the red MoneyGram logos, which, I mean, that's like the title sponsor of the entire team. You're not going to go away from that.
Right.
They paid for those, for all these optics and all these eyes to be seeing it. But I really do like it. I think I still like the Red Bull one a little bit more, but I mean, they knocked it out of the park. This might be one of my favorite like liveries I've seen over the last few years.
I
Speaking.
really enjoy this livery a lot. I think they really did an incredible job.
Plus, they went in a direction that a lot of teams probably wouldn't have gone. Like going with the cherry blossoms while they're like in season in Japan for this Grand Prix is really special. Why would you ruin that?
Speaking of doing things that other teams will not do.
Oh man,
the steak car. Anybody?
Okay, I have a real question.
Wagyu beef?
I have a real question. Because we're recording this on a Wednesday. We haven't seen any practice sessions. I don't think I've seen any media of them actually like with this on.
Is it real? Is it real?
Yeah, that's the question.
We looked up the merch. The merch is selling it as if it is a steak car.
The merch is real. 100% real.
They're selling mouse pads.
Look, I buy a lot of merch from various teams. I'm kind of wait until Audi hits the grid to maybe tap into that. I don't know that I'm going to go out of my way, but they did play really well into it with their merchandise. I mean, it's new. Part of me loves this and hates it, and part of me hates it and loves it.
What part of you loves this?
The memes. The memes alone make me love this.
I swear to
because
everything.
For the last like couple years, everybody on the grid has made the same joke of like steak, A1 sauce, blah, blah, blah. We've done it on this podcast. So for me, they're just embracing it.
But why? You can do this any weekend. Why do it the Japanese Grand Prix weekend? It's like, hey, everyone's doing really incredible liveries. We're going to make our car the color of steak.
Look, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's real. I don't actually expect them to roll out at Suzuka with this Wagyu looking car.
Tristan Blake Ryans, as I sit here right now, if I see a steak car rolling on the Japan Grand Prix this weekend, I'm buying merch.
You're buying merch?
If they stick to the bit so much that they actually put this car on track and make drivers drive this car in front of public, yes, they stick to the bit. I'm buying the merch.
I love your commitment to it.
If they stick to the commitment, I will do the commitment as well.
Look,
what's next?
Look, the reality is as we wrap up this little bit of the segment, it's a meme, and that I embrace memes. I'm a part of that culture. I love it. It's so stupid that I like it. I just don't. I kind of hope it isn't real, because if it is real, I don't think we'll ever. No, this will be one of the ugliest cars.
Okay. Yeah, I love
that has ever graced the entire Formula One grid.
I love that you bring that up, because I have a rival for this.
You think there's an uglier car?
I think that there's a car that could compete that I know you do not enjoy.
Where are you gonna go with this? I'm trying to think of cars that were really ugly, historically speaking. Are you talking about like recent history?
Pretty recent. I do want to say this one was last year.
Oh, this car. Okay, we got to share this tab here in a second. Oh, this one. I don't hate this one more than that. I don't like this car either. This is definitely very low on my list of cars.
For those who don't know,
liveries.
Last year V-Carb did a Levi, was it a Levi jeans sponsor of some kind of jeans sponsor, and did a jean?
I think it was a Hugo Boss. Yeah, it's a Hugo Boss sponsorship.
Okay, so they did some kind of jean sponsorship, and they made their car jean themed. So that is where this rivalry comes from, which is so beautifully done.
You mean livery?
Yeah.
I don't like this one either. I think this one would have made more sense, and I don't think they ran this one in Texas. This one would have made more sense for that market, for the market that's like a couple hours away from us. Like in Austin, 100%, this one would have made a lot more sense. Having it in Singapore, of all places, to me was a weird look, but I'm not a fan. I don't like that one, but I think the steak car
when do you run the steak livery?
I don't think you do. It's an abomination. It's a silly abomination.
You have to run it. When do you run it?
When?
Yeah.
What market?
Yeah. What market's like, steak?
Austin.
You really think so?
Yeah, the United States Grand Prix. We love eating stuff. This is stuff that looks like food. We're Americans. This is what we do. We eat things.
Okay, you know what? Actually,
think about the Instagram.
Okay, but hold on.
Think about the TikTok. Think about the social media. You'd have influencers walking the grid, walking up to the car and giving it like the That's your marketing right there. Giving them like I'm licking the car.
I think the connection here is with Wagyu beef. I think Wagyu beef is supposed to be either not originated, but kind of like its foundation is supposed to be Japan.
This isn't a real car.
I think that's the connection.
I can't believe we talked about it for this long. This is not a real car.
I hope this is the real car.
This is all right. All right. This is a straight up diss, but this is probably the most we're going to talk about Steak F1 this year beyond them DNFing.
Tough.
So, I mean, if this is the marketing campaign,
think about it. If they put that car on track and they DNF that into the wall, the meme.
You mean cook it into the wall?
Exactly.
I'm fucking.
You're sitting a raw car on the street.
I'm having a fun time. Look, let's move on.
I don't even know where to go from here. I mean, that's kind of all we had for the podcast.
I mean,
really just talk about.
You mean to tell me that Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hulkenberg are going to be riding the meat wagon?
Okay. Last question. Nice. Last question. What do the suits look like?
You can't throw some. Yeah, that's a great question. They look like bacon.
I was thinking the same thing. All right. So,
all right. Look,
we're a very professional, serious F1 team. Our car is Wagyu beef steak. We need you to look like bacon and drive. Thank you.
All right. Let's move on. We talked about this car for way longer than we need to.
I think we talked about it an appropriate amount.
I think I kindly disagree with you, but